We're here with Duran from ALTi UAS down in South Africa, and having a look at their new ALTi Transition aircraft. Duran, ALTi, the company ALTi UAS, what were your motivations for starting it, and what do you aim to achieve with the ALTi Transition aircraft?
Well, ALTi UAS is a very new company. We have another drone company called Steady Drone, and ALTi is kind of an evolution of where Steady Drone is going. And about a year ago, I noticed the involvement with VTOLs, vertical takeoff and landing, hybrid multicopters and fixed-wing aircraft, and that really got my attention, and I was quite fascinated by that. And I really think that is kind of the best of both worlds. If you look at where drones are going, there's a lot of companies now starting to explore VTOLs and the advantages that they have. So we created ALTi. We started working on our first product. It's actually flying behind me, called the Transition, and we've been in development for probably about 9 months to 12 months with the Transition, and we're doing final test flights this week and next week, and that's a brief little history of ALTi and the Transition.
All right, and then Transition itself, the aircraft. Could you tell us a little bit more about the specs, flight time, endurance, the type of materials used, the type of engines,
yep,
and all that? Sure.
The Transition is basically, what we call a double hybrid. So it's an electric and fuel petrol-driven aircraft, but it's also a multi-copter and fixed-wing aircraft. So we call it a double hybrid. So essentially, it's a 2.8-meter fixed-wing aircraft. The aircraft was designed in Australia by a company called Carbonics, and it's an incredibly efficient wing in terms of the shape and the airfoils and the winglets and everything. And we then built it from the ground up as VTOL with an 4 electric quadcopter motors. So essentially, it can take off and land vertically, go straight up, and then does a transition into fixed-wing flight, which can then do missions flying for up to 6 hours, because it's got a 4-stroke 21cc petrol motor, so our efficiency and the fixed wing and the long endurance is there. And then when you're done with the mission, it back transitions into a multicopter and just lands vertically. So basic specs, 2.8-meter wingspan, so it's very compact. We only have 4 connecting points in terms of assembling the aircraft, so it's incredibly compact and incredibly quick to assemble and work. So from in the case to in the air, you're looking at 5-10 minutes, so it's a very rapidly deployable aircraft as well. 2.8-meter wingspan. You have about 5 minutes in terms of hovering, but normally it takes us half a minute to get up to altitude for the transition, and even less on a back transition. And then endurance in actual mission fixed-wing flight of up to about 6 hours.
All right, and who do you envision will use the ALTi? What kind of applications do you see for the airframe?
Well, we announced the ALTi in June, July with the Unmanned Systems Technology magazine. We had a front cover and the dossier article in the magazine when we announced it, and there's been a tremendous amount of interest, and we have clients who want to come down and do demos, and we're, as I said earlier, just wrapping up final development right now. But the type of clients we've heard from and who are really interested are bigger commercial companies and industrial companies. So mining companies, oil and pipeline, surveillance, a lot of government companies who want to do border patrolling and that kind of stuff. As you can see, it's a 2.8-meter fixed-wing aircraft. We have a twin tail boom that also has the VTOL components, the quadcopter side, integrated into it. The VTOL motors we have in carbon motor pods, obviously making it aerodynamic and quite slippery. The whole wing is incredibly slippery and efficient. Very good design work by D3 Applied Technologies and Carbonics, the manufacturer of the actual airframe itself. And we have quite a long nose section. Fuel tank is integrated into the tank, or into the airframe itself, inside under the avionics bay. So it's not a standalone fuel tank, it's actually integrated into the airframe itself. You'll see the front landing gear is actually a lift producing airfoil as well, so it's not just a landing gear. We have split elevator on the back for redundant control surfaces, and even if we do lose fixed-wing flight control service, the VTOLs obviously will kick in and produce a fail-safe, and being able to land it safely on the ground again. We spent quite a lot of time developing the wire rope dampener for the single cylinder combustion engine. As you know, there's quite a lot of vibration with a single piston engine like that. We also have a wire rope dampening on the avionics itself, so it does a really good job cutting out any vibration for the actual airframe.